And now's the time.
Recording in progress.
There's going to be a new world order out there. And we've got to lead it.
True internet suffered depression.
You are fake news.
I am not suicidal.
We'll circle back with you directly. I can circle back. I'll circle back with you.
Do not come. Do not come.
I'm going to come.
Hello and welcome to episode 305 of the Jeffrey and Brian Show. I'm Jeffrey. Anyways, two guys drinking some beers, talking about what's going on. You said Guapo's not going to make it because of he's out camping. Oh, Brian's already muted us. All right. Well, I got an interesting question. If you went out camping, right, all by yourself, and you woke up in the morning and your ass is all covered in Vaseline, and you've definitely been butt fucked, would you tell anyone? Now, you want to go camping next weekend? No, I don't. Here comes the repeat offender.
G'day, lads. How are we?
Yeah, we're doing. How you doing over there?
Oh, good, mate. Good. Had to take the missus out last weekend. Sorry I couldn't make it, lads.
That's all right.
Thanks for the invites. Yeah, do the thing every couple of weeks.
Yeah, I went out exploring in my backyard today. Oh my, that was so much effort and work. I don't know. We went down maybe a mile, maybe two, down, behind us. And getting down the side of a mountain is easy. Going back up sucked. It's not that steep,
mate.
Yeah, it's not that steep, but it is steep enough. You can, at some points, you can lean forward, reach your arm out, and touch the ground in front of you, and you're like, "Oh man."
That's like me coming home from the pub.
Yeah, exactly. He's walking sideways, like this isn't even physically possible. It only works when you're drunk, so
Well, I drive away to clients, mate. So I've got the lean backwards going. I've got the balance worked out.
How is your spine bent backwards at the waist?
Very difficult.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get into the follow-up shit we got here. Brian, this is yours. Bolton has been indicted. Do you care? Oh. Yes, mishandling him and all that good stuff. Do you give a shit one way or the other, honestly?
Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
I think they're going for the smaller fish first.
I mean, I just think it's hilarious right now watching the Democrats defend John Bolton. I'm like, come on, guys. Like, this guy's a war hawk, and you hated him until he was working for Trump,
But you notice the charges they got him on? They haven't got him on, like, transmitting the information or whatever. They've just got him on having them in possession.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he wasn't selling secrets, but he had no authority to have this stuff in his home.
100%.
But neither did Joe Biden, and no one gave a shit about that. They only cared when Trump had his stuff in his house, and he actually had the legal authority to have the stuff with him.
Yeah.
Yeah. What else do you get, though? That's how it rolls, right? Apparently, the Supreme Court, I didn't even realize that his appeal on his $1.4 billion Sandy Hook case, I didn't realize this was being appealed already or whatever. I didn't, was happening. Apparently, it got shut down by the Supreme Court. So
yeah,
he has to come up with like the GDP of like France.
It's just the Supreme Court saying this guy can't afford his big bill and they can't force him.
How is he possibly going to come up with $1.4 billion? Because they sued Alex Jones, not InfoWars, right?
Yep.
So, but yeah, so he can't even just like let InfoWars fold and, you know what I mean? Oh, well, it's gone. Who are you going to take the money from? There's no way he's going to come up with this money in his entire life.
He'll never pay. He'll never pay it.
No, and you didn't help anyone. All you did was punish him, which is not the point of a civil court. It's not for punishment. It's for like uh, paying someone back, contrition. You know what I mean? Like, we're gonna set this right, and you're punishing him like this, criminal court.
What do they say? If you owe a man $1 million, you're in trouble. But if you owe a man $1 billion, they're in trouble.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good point. $1 million you'll never pay either, but you might come close, and it's gonna take you a long time to pay that back.
That's basically your house and everything, mate. That's what it is.
Hmm. All right, so I'm sure you guys heard about TPUSA is doing their own separate halftime show because they don't like Bad Bunny.
Yeah.
Did you see who they got to headline their show? Yeah. Now, is he gonna do stand up or is he gonna sing like the Hanukkah song? or possibly, but I would love to hear Piece of Shit Car again. That'd be hilarious.
I was actually hoping they'd get Tom McDonald.
Oh yeah, I just listened to his new release today, actually. But they have Tom McDonald going there too. I'm not surprised by that. I mean, let's be real, he's been doing very political music for several years now.
Well, Laura Trump was backing him.
Was that?
Was it Laura Trump? Laura Trump was backing him.
I don't know.
Eric's wife. Yeah, Eric's wife. She was pushing for Tom McDonald to get in there.
Well, within like an hour of Kirk dying, Tom McDonald had a new hit, a song that went up all at the charts about Charlie Kirk getting killed.
Yeah.
It's like the guy sat down and just wrote it on the spot, and I was like, holy crap. I'm not huge into rap, but that guy, I'll say he's talented. I mean,
Have you heard that song?
Sorry?
Have you heard that song, Devil is a Democrat?
Yes, and I love the fight he got into with Gavin Newsom over it. I thought it was hilarious.
Newsom called him gay.
I know, and I was like, hold on, I thought that wasn't something I thought that was like inappropriate. We're not supposed to
politically incorrect.
Not even like, what's wrong with being gay? Right?
Yeah, that's right.
That's supposed to be the argument, right? Oh my God. But yeah, there was some really funny stuff. I like a lot of his work. I'm not a huge rap fan, but the guy is talented. Just like I'm not huge into bluegrass, but I have like 3 or 4 bluegrass CDs now. Because every time I go to like one of these festival events around here, there's a bluegrass band playing. And I'm like, these guys are good, and I buy their CD for like $10, Which reminds me, I'm gonna have to play you guys some of this one band I heard one of these days. The song's called Hard Times, and it's just the guy plays there's a fiddle, a stand-up bass, and a guitar, and that's it. I don't know how much you guys know bluegrass at all. Like, would you even be able to recognize that kind of music?
Yeah, don't mind a bit of bluegrass.
A lot of people would just call it country. You know what I mean? Like, no, Devil Went Down to Georgia was no country song, okay?
That was the number one hit, wasn't it? Devil Went Down to Georgia. Didn't that get number one?
It might have. It was huge. Like, that was Charlie Daniels' band's like hit. That's the only reason why anyone ever heard of that guy, Well, besides the handful of, hillbillies that actually follow bluegrass, But apparently there's a petition to try to get Levi Stadium, where the Super Bowl is going to be, to change the halftime show. I mean, I get signing a piece of paper with enough signatures, but like they're not obligated. It's not like it's the government. They're obligated to do anything. Yeah, exactly. They could get literally every American to sign it, and they don't have to even read it. Doesn't
But it's the
Jay-Z?
NFL. It's the NFL. What are they doing? How are the NFL reading the room? Like, is this a political stunt?
Oh,
They
no.
just do
Have
it.
did you see the crap they're going to be painting in the end zones?
No.
Oh, just like when they did Black Lives Matter
Oh, you
in the ends,
joking?
they're doing stuff like that again. And they're like, we have like 6 things. You guys got to come in and vote. It's like, oh, sorry.
That's bullshit, mate.
Do I look unusually red to you guys?
No, not really, mate.
That's it. Yeah, that's exactly. I'm looking at it and I'm like, that's just turning me red, isn't it? All right. Sorry. All right. So Brian, Virginia, we've been following this from the begin. Well, I say that we've been following Virginia in general for a while because that's kind of what we do. But this one story about the AG race. Tell me, what's going on in Virginia with this guy? Yeah, he said if he had 2 bullets and was in a room with this guy, Pol Pot and Hitler, this guy would get 2 of them in the head.
Yeah.
And then he said he wants to kill the guy's kids in the baby's arms. I don't know if you're and more stuff still coming out about that. But anyway, how is this affecting the election? Because none of the Democrats have pulled their support for this guy. Never giving an endorsement is different than revoking your endorsement. You know that too, right? Exactly. No, just say we're going to lose this one. You know what I mean? Okay. And I like that. And you know what? I would like to see the D's and the R's come off of all the tickets. So you don't vote for a party. You have to actually know if you're voting for somebody or not. You know what I mean? Virginia's starting to really drive me nuts on this show, dude, because there's so much news coming out of Virginia that I never know if I should put this stuff in follow up, local, put it down under ICE stuff, or you know what I mean? There's just so much crap coming out of Virginia all the time. Uh, I don't know. How do you think things are going to turn out in general in Virginia? You think the Democrats are going to keep getting crazier? Yeah. Interesting you say that about the debate. Did you watch any of the mayoral race debate last night in New York City?
Yeah. I watched a little
Oh,
bit.
oh, some of it was good. I got a good laugh at some of the Cuomo was like, "Oh, when you fail, you got to get back up, dust yourself off, figure out what you did wrong, fix it, and try again." And I was like, "This, no, but I think this sounds an awful lot like pull yourself up by your bootstraps, right?"
Well, man, Darnie got him on that one where he said about, oh, you were the one who sent all those elderly people into a bloody aged care facility to die.
Well, that thing is, he's been confronted with that more than once, right?
Yeah. And
But yeah, keep throwing it at him.
And the Nixon that, he said, why don't you just make a decision? Because he said, which game would you go to?
Yeah, what was up with them? Which
That
sport,
good.
which sports team do you want to watch?
He goes, I'll go to a Knicks game.
Yeah, you want to go there?
Okay, well, I'll do one half at one, I'll do the other half at the other.
Yeah. Would you rather go to a Knicks game or a Yankees game? Is this what we're asking the possible mayor? You know?
I
All
don't
right.
know. I think it's going to be a strange race, mate. And without Curtis Slewer in there, I think
Yeah.
he's going to be. He's the dark horse, mate.
I think you're right. And I understand what the repeat offender is telling us is that if anyone besides Mondani is going to win this, it'd be that guy. But he's taking. Well, he's already been. Well, that's hilarious. He's already been the mayor. And they didn't care about him killing the grannies. They only cared about him grabbing the fannies. That's right. That was governor. Oh my God, this is a demotion, isn't it?
Yep.
Geez, that'd be like running for president, being president, then running for governor. You know?
I wonder who tapped Eric Adams on the shoulder and said, "Mate, you've got no chance."
Yeah, you're just wasting your time, dude. Well, there was a big storm in Alaska. You guys see any of this stuff?
No, I missed that one.
Known as 2 villages had to be 100% evacuated from from the coast.
Oh shit!
And I don't know how much anyone knows about Alaska, but it's very sparsely populated, and it's not easy to get places. You know, I didn't see a casualty count, but anytime you got to evacuate, and the best part is it even said they're called villages. They're not even towns; they're villages. You know what I mean? Like 150 people live in these places, so they can pull oil out of the ground. You know?
So refuge folks would come from the people within your village, and that'd be only rescue for a while, wouldn't it?
Yeah. But I'm pretty sure that I think these particular places are just like when they go like mining in like the Arctic or something. Guys will go, or here we go, oil rigs in like the North Atlantic. Guys will go there for like 6 months to a year at a time, and then not work for 2 years with all the money they make doing it because it's just horrible conditions and it's very dangerous, you know?
Yep.
There we go, Brian. You do me a favor and read the title of this next article. All right. Yes, thank you. That's at least the clip is going to be you saying it, not me. Yeah, I'm sure you heard about these young Republican kids, the college kids, and their text chain.
Yeah.
First of all, it was clear that these guys were joking. Like, no, they're racist Nazis. I'm like, no, some of these were pretty funny. Like the one when the guy was like, "Hey man, you still seeing that Indian girl?" And he comes back with, "Oh, she wasn't Indian. She just didn't take a lot of showers." I laughed so hard at that.
Yeah, they were just taking the piss out of each other.
Yeah, I was like, it's off color, don't get me wrong, but it was hilarious. But yeah, someone sent something in there, actually said like "I love Hitler" about something, but it was clearly supposed to be like they're being accused of this by the left. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, I don't want someone to kick in my door and rape my family. I love Hitler, you know. But I don't know, some of these jokes were freaking hilarious. And then JD Vance actually had something to say about all the stuff.
Yeah.
They keep it that big a deal.
George Slopadopoulos.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but like this is what's pissing the Dems off right now, right? And all I can think about is like your boos mean nothing to me. I've seen what makes you cheer.
Yep.
You know? Who's that guy? Chris, what's his name? That Mangione killed or allegedly killed? They cheered for that. They cheered for Charlie Kirk being murdered.
Mm-hmm.
But you're upset about some inappropriate jokes that can be told in a locker room between guys. You know what I mean?
I just don't think the left know how to deal with Trump this time. Trump 2.2. He's got too many moving parts going on all at the moment. Like he's going left, right, and centre, and they don't know which one to attack. They don't know where to go.
That's exactly what Brian and I said. Like in his first month in office, was Trump is doing so much shit at the same time. By the time the left reacts, it's already old news. You know?
Yeah.
And he's kept doing it the whole time, basically.
Mate,
Really?
he's just going. He's knocking everything down, isn't he? He's kicking goals. He's knocking things down. Everything they put. Look what he's done in bloody this Middle East peace deal.
Oh, no, we have a whole topic to talk about that.
No, but what I'm saying that is, I won't go into it. But why he's doing that? He's on the phone to bloody Putin saying, "How do you feel if I send bloody Zelensky some tomahawks?"
Yeah, and show him how to target Moscow. It's like, whoa!
He says we've got a couple of 100,000 surplus here.
Like his first time in office, when he was like, you know, like I remember what it was. But he said something to Russia. It was like, "Oh, if you do this, I nuke Moscow." And he's like, "I don't know if he believed me all the way." It was like maybe 10%. Maybe that's enough to get him to stop doing it. And I was like, "Oh, Jesus Christ, dude!"
Did you see the interview? I won't stick around this topic long. You see the interview and he's talking about when he's working with Putin in Alaska, and he had the bombers go over the top. The bomber flew over the top of Putin's
the
head.
B-2s over his head.
Yeah. And Putin turned around, apparently, he said to him, "Is that the one?" He said, "Yeah, that's one we hit our own with."
That's perfect. Oh.
That's a leader. That is a leader.
Actually, it's interesting because didn't we just do something with some B-2s in Venezuela?
Yeah.
Yeah. What's crazy is Venezuela probably didn't know until we told them. Well, just Iran didn't know we had B-2s in their country until their nuclear stuff blew up, right?
Anyway. I love it. I love the Don. I love the Don.
Oh, he's hilarious. Don't get me wrong, I have plenty to criticize the guy about, but the problem is the left makes me keep defending Trump. Like, I love to criticize the government. I really do. But like Europe said he's deporting illegal migrants. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, I could have been with you saying maybe we could calm this down a little bit, but you guys are fucking rioting in the streets. Like, I can't support that, you know?
Yeah, 100%.
But it's funny because they go and it's been all the news, these kids, these young Republicans. I don't remember what campus it was. It's been everywhere. And then there was this New Jersey high school where this group of girls had a text chat going around. They were going to kill every last Jew. One of them was going to dress up as Hitler for Halloween, and all the rest of her friends were going to dress up like exterminated Jews. And I'm like, these guys made a joke about, you know, black people. And they made a joke about Indian people. They made a joke about wasps, you know? Just in case anyone doesn't know what a wasp is, it's a white Anglo-Saxon Protestant. It's Brian, for God's sakes, you know? And these girls, instead of going dressed like fucking Hitler on Halloween, like, don't get me wrong, like, that would be a great costume in a costume contest, wouldn't it? But that's the thing, like, you're at the bar judging, like, doing the costume contest. Someone shows up like Hitler. You're like, okay, that took some balls, but I need to not be here anymore, you know? I gotta be somewhere else. How big a deal is Halloween down under?
Yeah, so same day as you, we celebrate, but we just follow you guys. But it's not really big. It's just more like supermarkets are trying to market from it. They're trying to, you know.
It's huge here. It's very American, though. Let's be real.
Oh, it is American.
Yeah,
it is American, mate.
Yeah, well, I gotta take my girls trick-or-treating. There's no way they're not dressing up in costumes and going trick-or-treating. By the way, I got my costume ordered. I bought one instead of making one this year. I'm going to be Mothman. I thought being in West Virginia, Mothman was appropriate.
You should have dressed up as Hitler.
That's a hike. It's very far away. And it's interesting you say about dressing up like Hitler because, Brian, remember when we did that show and you're like, holy crap, you're clean shaven. I had shaven like 45 minutes before the show, but I left a Hitler stash, right? And I come out of the bathroom, I look at the wife, and I was like, "So what do you think about the Charlie Chaplin mustache?" She goes, "No one's going to think Charlie Chaplin." And I was like, "I don't know. I think I should do at least one show with this." She's like, "No, it will be everywhere. If you ever try, if it'll come
You
back
see
up
what-
someday."
You see what happened when Prince Harry dressed up as bloody Hitler? He ended up with Meghan Markle.
But why did we let this guy ruin so much stuff? Like, why did we take away the Charlie Chaplin mustache because of this one guy? Why has no one named their kid Adolf since? We even skipped Adolf in the hurricane listings, like names. People change their last names. Like, I think there's one family named Hitler in the United States that refused to change their name. I'm like, you one asshole ruins it for everybody. You know what I mean? And don't get me wrong, guy was a big asshole, but I don't know. To say the name Adolf has to disappear forever now is crazy.
Hmm.
All right. Oh, okay. So the View said that they try to have Republicans on, but they're too scared to come. They said this to RFK Jr.'s wife. Conservatives fire back after the View host says they're afraid. But they I was gonna say both their names are in this article. They said it would be great to get both sides of this argument to listen to each other instead of echo chambers. Yeah, and
No.
oh, in a heartbeat. Shoot, don't consider myself conservative. Starting to consider myself Republican at this point, but I would go on the View and be like, yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah. Hell yeah.
it's yeah. But yeah, like a bunch of these Republicans came out with receipts showing the emails of them trying to get on the show, and they're like, "No, you're not. No. Come on, lady. You really think that JD Vance doesn't want to come on the View and put you all in your place?"
I reckon I know more than those witches on that show, mate. But did
All
you see
right.
what? Did you even see that one when Judge Janine Pirro went on there talking about a book, and they attacked her straight away about all these other policies?
Yeah. At least let her plug her book, right?
Yeah, all she
And
was
th-
there was for a book.
And then rip her apart. And thing is, they don't do well when they have the Republicans on because like their arguments are terrible. Like just it's all emotion, no real. She for what? How long did we run a segment on the show, Brian? That we always talked about the View on purpose every week. I know, but I was like, I'm done talking about these women. Yeah, I know, and yes. Oh goodness, and it's too bad. Like I thoroughly enjoyed a lot of Whoopi Goldberg's work over my lifetime, especially her work.
100%. 100%, mate.
Yeah, like I love Star Trek, right? Enterprise is it? No, Strange New Worlds. Real? Oh, I was to say I just finished the season. Yeah. But she was on Star Trek: The Next Generation. And you know, she was a great character on the show. Now, like when I do, hey, let's watch some Star Trek, and I see her, I'm like, oh, I hate when she speaks, you know? why can't I remember her name? I keep wanting to say Uhura, but Uhura's the yeah, it was the lang yeah, and she was like not an empath. She was one of those people that lives like 5,000 years or something like that. Just like the one from on the new season, the new series. The old lady with the underwater voice. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, Uhura is the one with the weird earpiece that speaks like 30 languages. Yeah. You know what though? I could not get into uh well, what was the one that was set the furthest into the future? Vo no, I liked Voyager actually. They were just trying to get home. I like that one. There was another one that came out after that. There was a black woman captain. The main character was like her daughter or something. Or no, never mind. That's from Below Decks, the cartoon one. But the main character in this one was a black woman too, and she like got some weird angel armor that she went out into space alone and traveled through time. Yeah, I watched most of it and I was like, I can't do this anymore. It's gotten too ridiculous even for Star Trek, you know? Anyway. Yeah, Star Trek's supposed to be ridiculous, right? It's like in Star Trek, communism works, right? Uh, uh, so apparently we've had some Medicaid. I don't know if the fraud's the right word, but $32 million, potentially anyway, has been paid out to ineligible people in West Virginia. Some were dead.
Oh,
Excellent question. Excellent question. I saw this and I got frustrated as hell. And they shut the government down over like Medicaid, right? It's that's their argument, right? That's right. They expired. Yep. It's supposed to be affordable care.
yeah,
I agree.
100%. Was it the end of the year? Five, doesn't it?
Yeah, if you like your doctor, you can keep your doctor. Yeah, rates went up, and then if you didn't have health insurance because you couldn't afford it, they fined you. Oh, I didn't realize that. I know they were going to. I have had TRICARE since this whole Affordable Care Act thing started. You know what I mean?
Once
Yeah,
the end of the
honestly.
year, it runs out, isn't
What's that?
it? Isn't it the end of the year it runs out?
Yeah. Yep. Yep. And yeah. And we all know that's not why they really. Yeah. You know, when you should be buying your own at that point. Uh, well, here's the
Mm.
problem: is they never said illegal aliens. They said undocumented migrants. The problem is, as soon as they get into the system, documents are created and they are no longer undocumented. However, they are still illegal. And that's why they do this little shift of words all the time.
Yeah, weren't they given driver's license in bloody Illinois or California to
California
be
gave a
illegal?
dude a CDL that killed a family of immigrants too.
Yeah,
So they got their CDL in California and killed
in
him in Florida.
California.
Yeah. And that was the second license he had. Didn't he get one in like Oregon before that
Yeah,
expired or something?
pretty much think so, mate. Yeah.
What's hilarious, I just saw an article about a guy's driver's license, a CDL, actually said no name given as the guy's fucking name. And I was like, oh, now this guy's driving a 16-wheeler that weighs like 6 tons. You know what I mean? Oh. I don't know. I see so many trucks driving through where I am because I'm in coal and lumber country. And so, like, we got granite quarries, everything, all that stuff, coal mines. And I see these giant trucks driving by with just literal tons and tons and tons of stone in them, or entire tree, like dozens of trees on these trucks that are linked. The trailers are linked together, and you're like, holy crap. Like, I saw Final Destination, and I thought that was terrifying when that log came off the truck. Yeah, I'm driving behind the guy, and that's not just the freaking telephone pole thing. This is a 6 feet, no, not 6 feet, 4 feet around tree.
Keep your cats away, mate. Bit of pet cemetery.
Yes. Speaking of, dude, I was thinking about it just yesterday about where I grew up and the house that I left to come here. I was like, how many pets have I buried in that yard? Like, for real. And I thought about it over all the years. And then I was thinking even more closely when I moved back for a little while. I buried buried 4 pets in 5 years, and one of them one cat just didn't come home. And I'm like, if whoever moves in here decides to try to like level out this area of the backyard, they're gonna dig up these pets. I was like, it's gonna be terrible when they open up one big one that's got like 2 dogs in it with like squeaky toys buried with them. Actually, if you dug that up in your backyard, you'd be like, oh, this is awesome.
Go on That's Life or something.
Yeah, you'd be poking at the bones, be like, oh man, that's so cool.
$5,000 story.
Yeah. We just had a big fire down in town. This old hotel that's no one's been there for a long time. Caught on fire. They're saying the fire started on the 3rd floor, which means, and they're almost certain it was squatters. But it was crazy, dude. Like, they couldn't get anywhere. It shut everything down. And what really got me was I'm looking at the pictures because some dude had his own drone, and he went up there and was like live streaming this thing through a Facebook page. I was like, oh, cool. And I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh, I think that's the RNC headquarters. And I was like, oh, fuck, it is. It's the building next to it. Because at first I thought that it was like a terror thing, like, like fuck the Republicans, which you don't get a lot of far lefties. I say, and that's the problem, is I keep saying far left to refer to the nut jobs. But the problem is these nut jobs that are doing the crazy things like killing people and lighting fires have the same beliefs as your mainstream Democrats. Like Charlie Kirk, it was over like trans issues. That's like one of the biggest issues the Democrats have right now. It's like it's. I saw that. It's dropping. Yeah, the trend has ended.
It's not getting pumped all the time. Did you guys see that new News Nation interview? That town hall at Kennedy Centre? Chris Cuomo, what's his name, Smith, and Bill O'Reilly hosted it. And they had Democrats and Republicans on there. They had Jim Jordan, Fetterman, they even had Joe Manchin on there. And O'Reilly turned around and he said to Fetterman,
Manchin?
He goes, yeah, Joe Manchin. Yeah.
I was to say, he used to be the senator here.
Yeah. Well, he turned around and actually he was governor too, wasn't he?
Yeah, I say, not that I'm aware of. Doesn't mean he didn't at one point, though.
Yeah. Anyway, Bill O'Reilly turned around to Fetterman and he says, he's spewing out all this stuff and he goes, what do you believe in? What you believes? And anyway, Fetterman's answering him back. And he goes, mate, you should be a Republican, not a Democrat.
And you know what? Maybe that's where I saw a lot of stuff come from, was that particular interview, because I saw all sorts of stuff coming about how he's not leaving the Democrat Party, and he's going to try to reform it. That's probably exactly what started the whole thing then.
Yeah, well, he turned around and Floyd Federman said, he goes, I'm the only Democrat in my family. He said, what I don't get into is all these people calling Republicans Nazis and fascists and all that. He says, the people I grew up with and knew and know,
Yeah,
they
the people I love.
They are decent people, And he said,
Yeah,
one thing
exactly.
I won't
You're calling my friends and my family Nazis. Come on. No,
Yeah. And that's what they need to do. People like Fetterman and that need to stand up. This is the only way you're going to bring the temperature down.
Well,
They need...
I've started something new I'm trying concerning all of that. I am going today was the first day I posted it. I think I'm going to try to do this every week or so, but I'm going to post that the Nazis are not real. They used to be 80 years ago, but there's no infrastructure, there's no hierarchy, there's no leadership. It's just an idea, just like Antifa.
Yeah, that could work.
Because I had one guy tell me that Antifa has never been a thing. I was like, actually, that's why they sing Bella Ciao. I was like, for the love of God, this was an actual organization in Europe during World War II, just like the fucking Nazis,
We've got uniforms and marketing gear,
and that's the thing, dude. I can go online and sign. So was it fucking ISIS and Al Qaeda, right? They do that intentionally so that you can't cut the head off the snake.
Sorry?
I
was just going to say Siri was programmed by Google as well too, wasn't she? Didn't she come out with some weird facts?
I honestly don't know. I never checked, but Siri. Actually, I don't even have access to Siri. I don't think. It kind of is AI. Just like when you play against the chess against the computer, it's an AI. It's just a very
It's artificial intelligence. It's AI.
Yeah, it's just not very advanced, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of, what's going to happen when we actually have like robots doing all of our physical work for us? Maybe, but like it's gonna be funny when John Deere comes answers the question, who's gonna pick the crops, and John Deere comes out and says, oh, our new model, the Juan Deere 3000, will pick your crops for you. Come on, that was a good setup, wasn't it?
Yeah, they're not going to take a dump 30 minutes after you clock on, are they?
Yeah. The robot goes, I sure am tired, boss. You go, shut the fuck up, get back to work. I have 3 more batteries and another 2 trickle charging, all right?
Yeah.
It's a good thing I'm not running for office, because some of the things I say here, right? Which is hilarious. Could you imagine if I actually ran for like a local office and whoever I would be running against never found the show? And just be like, slipped right under that radar. Yeah, right? But you know me, if I did something like that and I made like campaign signs, I'd put a QR code that would take you right to the show, and you know it. Hey, if you don't want me to do the job for you, don't vote for me. You know what I mean? If you like what I am saying, yeah, I put my views out there plenty over the last several years, so you know what you're gonna get.
Change your name to Pedro.
Well, here I might want to change my name to like Smith or Johnson, so I fit in with everyone else. Like, you have an English name. Okay.
Adolf Johnson.
Adolf
Johnson.
That would be hilarious. Anyway, moving back on to local after we've been at this for like 15 minutes and we haven't got past the local news yet.
That's what happens to bring a repeat offender on, mate.
Yeah. But we were talking about Halloween, and apparently Virginia is one of the top 5 Halloween obsessed states right now. Yeah, Guapo shared that. I was hoping he'd be able to follow up, hoping he had read the article. But that's okay. It didn't say much, just people are excited. Everyone decorates, they go to parties, they give out candy, yada yada. Yeah. Well, it's an excuse for like young women to wear almost no clothes in cold weather. And they do it. There you go. So you're gonna tell everyone that at the party you're gonna be like, hey, would you like to see my big cock? You're like, I might now. Yeah, how long okay, how long's it been there? Because I don't remember ever seeing something like this when I was in Virginia. Well, somewhere in the article it says they barely finished building it. They had to tear it down because of what, like tide damage or something. So it was built really shitty. Like we have techniques to avoid erosion from being that fast. You know what I mean? Well, I mean, this thing was like a pier, right? What the fuck does that have to do with the fact that you didn't dig a hole and put concrete down in the seabed and instead put posts on silt? You know, at that point, you may as well have done a floating pier because those exist, right? And they work very well. Now, don't get me wrong, you might have to make the thing huge to get an ambulance down it safely, but come on. Shit, Brian, you've been on the FAF, the floating accommodation facility. It was. They wanted me to sleep on that thing on duty days. And I was like, those are bed bugs. They're like, that's gross. Like, well, you can't go to the ship and sleep. I was like, fuck you. It was like, you go ahead and find me in my berthing in the middle of the night and come tell me I gotta go sleep in bed bugs and I'll just stay up all night, you know? But that was an entire floating building. Anyway, they tore this thing down. Are they gonna rebuild it or are they gonna try something new or just say, oh well, use ATVs like Baywatch? So it's a giant waste of taxpayer money. Um, Ocean View. Okay. Okay. Thank you. I was like, I know Ocean View. I know the name of the road. So yeah, that was like, does he? Jeez, isn't that stupid expensive? Okay. Just like beachfront property in Virginia Beach is through the roof, but you move 4 miles from the beach and it's the freaking ghetto dump, right? Yeah, so Greenies, I was waiting like Jillian's and Have a Nice Day and all those other bars that got shut down, right? Did anything ever replace the Thirsty Camel? That's too bad. Oh, sure. Yeah, tons of it. Uh, I liked the Thirsty Camel, man. Oh, one, they had a big pier out, big deck, giant deck out back over the water, right? And then a pier, you go out and go, they would literally catch fish. Like they had, well, no, yeah, I was gonna say they would cook the fucking fish you caught. And
Nice.
this was back when Virginia allowed smoking in bars as long as they were separate completely from non-smoking. Oh, okay. Okay. Well, Greenies, yeah. Not Greenies, the Thirsty Camel. Oh no, but the Thirsty Camel in particular had a like a phone booth with like with a tube. Yeah, with a that's your non-smoking section. Like, we want this. We're inviting the smokers to come here to drink. Because I know it looks like I smoke a billion cigarettes. Realistically, I go through 6 times as many cigarettes doing this show as any other time. It's the drinking beer makes me want to and yeah, it makes me want to have a smoke, and the talking makes me want to smoke. And which is why these bars did so great. You go there with your buddies, bullshit, drink some beers, as long as you didn't light up a cigar, nobody complained, It just gets cigars. It's just so thick and stinky. You have to go to a special place for that kind of thing where everyone's cool with it. But just like the Thirsty Camel was the place to go if you wanted to smoke a cigarette, or Quaker Steak and Lube. The whole place, or just the smoking section? No. When I went to Pennsylvania to go to Hershey, I stayed in York, I think. We drove by it on our way to our hotel, and I was like, it's within like 5 miles of where we're staying. We're going to the loo. Oh, she was more excited than I was. So we went there and got some wings. Oh my God. So I right, well, yeah. That no, where did we usually go to watch UFC fights? We did Hooters for a little while because it was cheap. Yeah, and I could when there's somewhere after that, but maybe I am thinking of Hooters because I know we never went to the Green Turtle to watch the fights, right? Of course they. Oh, they're still open. Thank God. What? Okay. We've officially finished purchasing the house next door. The mother-in-law can move into that house, which means no, no, no. Are you kidding me? She got no. She got sick as soon as we were ready to start moving her shit. She got sick because of the season change. Not talking trash. That happens in general. And well, yeah. Not only but that, and it's a different biome. It's a different life. It's different things you're going to catch in a different area, right? That your body has no immunities to. So she was down for like 3 weeks, which is I was actually genuinely worried. I had to keep reminding the wife. I was like, "Hey, your mom needs to eat just when she feels sick." I was like, "She's diabetic. She needs to eat." I was like, and not just that, it's like if the food helps you fight the illness. But we're finally gonna start moving her stuff. I hope I get it out before winter starts because I just don't want to deal with all the stuff sitting in my garage. But either way, it's probably not going to be until spring till I drive to Virginia to get the rest of my stuff because I'm not hauling a trailer across mountain roads in the ice. You know what I mean? Yeah. Thousand ways to die. Friggin' jackknife. But when I get over them and I'm bringing my little token keychain thing that has my mug number on it. Be like, boom, I have one of the original mugs. That one's mine. I know no one else has drank out of my mug. Because mine actually has a number. That's because they just wash mugs out now and give them to people like, no, I have my own mug. and it's hanging up. Shit, you were there when I got mine, right? It was the two of us together did it, right? Mine's okay. I was saying because my mug is below number 100. I was one of the first. Yeah, mine is. I think it's
You can be late like
93 or
that.
something. I think mine's 93. So as long as you use it, you make money or you save money, and they make money, right? And while you're there, you're drinking out of your mug. You know, all right, so you get like a burger and a beer or something. Okay. All right. Yeah. And I know you were with me when this happened because we were arguing about how there's no way this mug holds a pint, and the bartender filled a pint and poured it into my mug. Yeah. I was like, you got me, dude. I was like, the taper of that mug is more deceiving. The taper of that glass is more deceiving than I thought it was, you know? But yeah, right in front of me, I was like, oh, all right. Yeah, what? I pay like half price. I get happy hour prices. I thought I signed up for happy hour prices. Well, that's not what I. Yeah, I probably don't have any paperwork saying what the fucking what I signed. God, right? That was a. That, yeah, they handed me a little thing for my keychain, so I go, my mug. I didn't know that. Well, yeah, it's funny because I just found this thing like 3 months ago. It was in one of my old wallets because it had broken off of my keychain. But
You get your
shit, I
redeploy
know,
print after 6 point.
man. I just know that if I go in there and don't even have my little doohickey, I could just say like, mine has the Red Sox and the Bruins sticker on the mug. You know, man, I miss that place. The food was good, the beer was good, the crew was good. And there was always a game on. There was like 30 televisions and they're all in different games. The NFL Network, NHL Network, MLB. You'd be sitting there and be like, hey, can we watch the Bruins game over here? And it's gonna drive me nuts, dude. What the hell is the hockey team in Detroit? Red Wings. Sorry, it was driving me nuts. Well, I was gonna say like we would go in there and be like, hey, can we put the Bruins over here and the Red Wings over there? You know? Shit. Oh, which is funny. Made me think of Eric Lindros. That's an old man now, huh? That Nolan Ryan is like 80 years old, 80 something years old now. He just did an opening pitch for a baseball game and threw it 86 miles an hour. 80, that's like better than high school baseball players, almost as good as your best college pitchers. Well, the world record now is like what 103 mile an hour pitch. Randy Johnson used to have it when he broke 100, but anyway, what do you got here,
Secretary
Brian?
Kristi Noem, blaming Democrats for the federal government shutdown, is ready to roll out at airport TSA security checkpoints. However, some airports are refusing to play it, including one in our area. Norfolk International Airport confirms to News 3 it is not playing the clip. Leaders sent a statement saying, in part, quote, the Norfolk Airport Authority's long-standing practice is to decline political messaging within its facilities. We are
Hold on. The Norfolk International Airport's primary whatever is to decline to get involved with political messaging. Dear God, how long did they play CNN in every single one of their televisions? That's what. Oh my God. No, it really was though. Like when that stopped, they're like, "Oh wow!" Like 20 million televisions just shut off CNN all at once and never turned it back on. Oh my god. But yeah, yeah, that's all right. Here we go again. Should I put this in local follow up or what? I ended up making a tiny little topic, but it'll flow here. We've been talking about again so much shit in Virginia. We've been talking about what Loudoun and Fairfax counties, right? With the trans stuff. Well, looks like the court has stopped the schools from disciplining the boys who don't want girls in their locker rooms. Could you? Well, you would. Ideally, the judges wouldn't change their view of the law based upon who's in office, right? Yeah, I know exactly how that goes. And there we go, Brian. Well, actually, if you want, you could do a share this next one too. Your call. This dude, Colin Rugg, he posted this on X. Oh, you might not be able to if you don't log into X. I might have to. I'm not sure. But oh, okay, okay. Well, what it doesn't really matter. He went in there to this like school board meeting and was talking about boys and girls locker rooms, girls and boys locker rooms because they're saying trans or whatever. And as he's talking, a handful of high school students, mind you, high school. Now, I'm pretty sure they were all 18, but a handful of these young ladies stood next to him and started stripping down. And they're like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa! This is inappropriate. We need order." And he's like, "Oh, does this make you uncomfortable with a bunch of people of the opposite sex changing in front of you?" It's like, well, it's just, yeah. It's like, well, I mean, I ideally we could make everyone happy, but let's be realistic. Uh, if you only have a men's and a women's locker room, and you let the biological male into the women's locker room because he identifies as a woman, and then whips his dick out in front of all the girls, you know, if I could have got away with this in high school, I probably would have done it. This, yeah, this sounds like something I would have done and be like, nothing you can do about it. Look at my junk. You know what I mean? Let me oil up my cock and balls so that I don't get a weird rash from running, playing football. You know what I mean? Watch me lube up my dick so I don't get a weird chafe. You know? Like, wouldn't that offend you? You're the girl, and I'm just staring at you, rubbing oil on my dick. You'd be like, and oh, that's gross. People don't do that. People put band-aids on their nipples to run. Trust me, people oil their thighs to not get that chafe from running. I don't know. I don't know how many people played sports. You know? And which is even better. I've heard people like, well, why are you doing this kind of stuff in the locker room? It's like, well, where else am I going to prepare for my competition? Like the bathroom. I think that's what the fuck a locker room is. Like there's a giant open shower where 7 dudes bathe at a time. It did in my high school. In the boys, only in the boys. But well, like I said, if I had the chance to whip my dick out in the girls' locker room in high school, trust me, I've been in the girls' locker room, okay?
Never let a chance go by.
I was a stupid teenager, you know what I mean? And that shit, It's funny because you think, oh, today you go to jail for that. It's like, no, today you get a fucking parade.
You ain't no Robinson Crusoe, mate.
Yeah. So you can't see that Trump found some way to pay our troops during the shutdown. Yeah. The Democrats have already shut it down. Democrats, Schumer and all them have already shut it down. And they're the ones saying, oh, we need to at least pay the troops. It's like, yeah, we tried to, and you said no because you want to make your fucking political point. Yeah, I mean, we had plenty of shut. Just put a. Well,
Yep.
then why are they not? So then what's the issue if there's a law saying they're going to get paid? Oh, so Congress gets paid.
Nobody.
That's what it should
Nobody
be.
gets
And
paid.
I was going to say, maybe we should pass a law that the service gets paid no matter what. Yes, Department of War. Which lets you know that all this garbage they're talking is just trash talk.
Yeah.
Uh, I don't know. I wonder how many of these Democrat uh, legislative officials actually are actually vets. Yeah, because typically now your vets tend to vote Republican or at least libertarian. Because you've seen this shit. Like I've seen communism happen. I've seen where it's going on, and it's hilarious. Yeah, yeah, and it's funny because the Democrats will always say, "Well, communism has never been implemented correctly," and so apparently Mamdani is going to fix it. But the problem is, throughout history, the Democrats have always pointed at least one communist nation and said, there you go, that's an example of communism working until it falls apart again. Bernie Sanders friggin' honeymooned in the United Soviet Socialist Republic. Is that what it is? USSR? It is, okay, yeah. Like he went, not Russia, the USSR, the Soviet Union for his honeymoon because that's socialism or communism working. And then they pointed at China about how communism works until people pointed out they're actually not technically communist. They're like a capitalist communism. Yeah, weird rules the way they do it, but and then recently they pointed at Venezuela for an example of communism working, and they're like, "Oh yeah, no, we blew that." And was it Norway? It was like Bernie Sanders. Please stop telling people we're socialist. We're not. But yeah, and then after it collapsed, like, oh, it wasn't done right. It's like, well, you personally point at it and say, "Here's an example of it working." Sorry, this is my big one. That's communists. Socialism is the same thing. I don't care what anyone says. Lenin, who wrote the Socialist Manifesto, wrote right in that the end goal of socialism is communism. This is supposed to be a stepping stone from our capitalist society. But all right. So yeah, anyway. So now we're not paying our troops. Or maybe not next paycheck. Yeah, they're paid up to now. That might have been their last one. Oh my goodness. Okay, what's this one? Jeffries and Lawler had a fight, I guess. I don't know. you find so many friggin' arguments on Capitol Hill, you know? Yeah. Mm. Hey, while this is happening, anyone who actually listens to our show, we could use a couple bucks. Uh, yeah, we got to pay for our storage fees, but if we could actually bring in more than storage fees, first of all, we don't expect to get paid for this garbage for real. This is Brian and I not cussing people out on the road for saying something stupid, right? But if we brought in more than we needed, that money would probably go into paying subscriptions to this crap. So we didn't have to deal with all these commercials and everything. He told me Bud Light.
Bud Light, mate. Probably a
He
Bud
said
Light.
skull of Bud Light was what he said. And you know what's funny is I looked at one of the tall boys the other day. It was like $1.50. I was like, I might, you know.
$20 is $20.
But and it's not the worst beer. It tastes like every other light beer, right? Miller Lite, I will say, is a little different. It's almost salty. Oh, instead of wheat. That's what's different about it. I knew there was something different from a Miller Lite than a Bud Light or a Coors Light or a. Okay. Anyway, show me about the shutdown.
He is expected to remain closed for at least another week. It comes as the
That's
Senate
Brett Baer?
Democratic leader faces backlash over
He's still
comments
there?
that seem to have put both
He
sides
hasn't
further
aged.
apart. Senior congressional correspondent Chad Pergram explains.
Republicans fuming at Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer after he declared it gets, quote, better for Democrats the longer the shutdown lingers.
To inflict pain on other people so that he can have a good day. You have lost your way.
However, President Trump made a similar point, again threatening to slash federal programs important to Democrats.
Every day gets better for them. No, every day it's actually getting worse for them. We'll give them a little taste of their own medicine.
A caller who said she's from Virginia upbraided House Speaker Mike Johnson about the shutdown on C-SPAN.
I'm begging you to pass this legislation. My kids could die. We don't have the credit because of the medical bills that I have to pay regularly.
The Capitol is now a political tinderbox following this week's verbal altercations.
You're embarrassing yourself right now. You could sign on to this. The only embarrassment here is you.
Democrats even questioning the Speaker's faith.
Speaker Mike Johnson, he says that his beliefs
what the
are rooted
fuck is
in
that?
The Bible. I don't understand the Speaker about how
Rosa DeLario. She's a congresswoman or a senator?
With that world.
She looks like someone out Despicable Me.
Speaker, try to lower this temperature.
Emotions are high. People are
upset.
Looks like
something like shit out after eating weird candy.
Mad, but I am very angry right now because this is dangerous stuff.
The Senate voted for a seventh time to block funding bills.
Leader Thune engaging in the classic definition of legislative insanity, which is doing the same thing over and over and over again.
Nothing has changed, despite Republicans insisting that Democrats will eventually cave.
Was that a bad play call by the Republicans? This is the only play call. This is how shutdowns get fixed.
Now, the Senate votes again tomorrow on the same plans which failed for days. The GOP believes the ground will shift once workers miss paychecks and Democrats get an earful over the weekend.
Well, for one, if you're the government, you have to understand that this is a possibility, right? Oh my God. It's crazy what some people will believe. You can watch this stuff happen in real time, and some folks will just not believe it happened. You know what I mean? I don't care about the impact of Trump's shutdown layoffs on federal workers unless you know something about it. It was a long, boring article.
Well, didn't Bill Clinton do it? Didn't he lay off nearly 600,000?
What authority does the judicial branch have over the staffing of the executive branch? Because I thought they were supposed to be separate powers, right?
Yep.
So they shouldn't have it. Oh, so these guys aren't executive. Okay. Because we're spending a ton of money on, yeah, okay. Yes, yes, and thank you for calling it that, not U.S. aid, because that's not what it was. It wasn't money sent to help starving people. It was to build programs to overthrow regimes in foreign nations. I think it's hilarious that we spent millions of dollars trying to something about transing people in like Pakistan or something like that. And I was like, so we're spending a bunch of money to mutilate these people, then watch them get executed by their own country. You know? You see this shit? Okay. Keep hearing about the rhetoric, right? The Republicans need to tone down the rhetoric. They said they didn't like this, and that's violence. Chuck Schumer told Americans to forcefully rise up against Trump.
Yep.
What does that mean? He even used the word forcefully, not go out and protest or let your voices be heard. Were literal quotes from Trump. Forcefully, or what does that mean to you then, to forcefully rise up? Sounds like an insurrection.
Violence, yeah. I mean, violence or acts of violence.
Yeah, and against the federal government, which is insurrectionists, and you get enough of them together, and we have a civil war on our hands. This is fucking nuts. They're telling everyone else to. Everyone. Okay, it's funny because I keep saying Republicans and Democrats. Thing is, anyone who's not fucking retarded isn't Democrat. And only like a third of those people that are left that aren't fucking retarded are Republicans. Like, you even have your classical liberals who agree with Bill Clinton's policies when he was in office, right? That's exactly what I'm saying, is they have. Yeah, too bad that didn't work out, huh? Why don't we make this a law, by the way? For real, why doesn't our Congress write a law and send it to Senate to say, boom, we're not allowed to spend more money than we have for at least 10 years or something like that, you know? Wouldn't that be great? We'll stop sending all of this money and technology, i.e. weapons, to our NATO friends like Australia or, London, England. See, does England have their own army, or is it? Or it's okay? So it's not the whole army. For some reason, I thought UK had one army.
No. England's got their own. Wales got their own. Scotland's got their own. Northern Ireland's got their own. But when they fight together, they're called the British Army.
British, and I've always wanted that because that was what I learned in school. Was we revolted against Great Britain, right? And now Brian and I keep asking you how to explain how this works, and none of it makes any fucking sense. Or the Commonwealth. Yeah, but like, what? Apparently, UK is like the island and like parts of Ireland, right? And then you have like the Commonwealth that includes like Canada and Australia.
It's called Commonwealth Forces. Then once we get everyone involved, like if Britain declares war,
England declares war because of it.
Then you have the Commonwealth Forces, where Australia's then comes under Australian Defence Force. Comes under the British.
Same idea as like a NATO pact.
Canada,
right?
Yeah, but it's a British one. India comes under it.
at this point, you don't even, well, I suppose keep it in there in case NATO dissolves, but at this point, all of these Commonwealth nations are NATO, right? So if anyone in NATO goes to war, you are obligated to help them.
Yeah, a lot of the Commonwealth countries are NATO. We're not NATO.
You're not. I thought, well, but you are. Okay, well then, but you are because the rest of the Commonwealth is, and if they go to war, you're obligated to go help them, right?
Well, we're subsidiary, like we've got, like we can perform a Eurovision.
Yeah.
Australian
Okay.
Eurovision.
I'm just saying, for example, the United States let's say the United States gets into a war with Venezuela over this drug thing, right?
Yep.
That would obligate NATO nations to come to the aid of the United States.
They obligate Australia as well, Australia and UK, because of the AUKUS deal.
Oh, okay. I was just going to say that even without that, Australia would still be obligated because Great Britain would be obligated to go to conflict, which would drag Australia with it because of their thing, right?
No, because we've got to deal with you guys. If you guys go to war because of AUKUS, or if we go to war because AUKUS, Australia, United Kingdom, and US, we've got to deal with that. We're there for each other, a pact.
Crazy how our best allies on this planet as the United States are the people that we told to fuck off and leave us alone.
Well, you look at us, mate. Australia's been with you guys in nearly every major conflict.
Yeah. Except for a handful on our homeland in the early days. Yeah.
We were the ones who stuck out with you guys in Iraq and that. We were there till the end.
Yeah. Geez, the Australians did some really crazy stuff in World War II. But I mean, really, who didn't though? There were no resources available, and
no, we beat the Germans. We're the first ones to beat the Germans in El Alamein, the Desert Rats. Then we beat the Japs in Kokoda.
I love the argument that I've heard from some people is, "Oh, the United States showed up late and took an easy win and are taking credit." I'm like, I get that argument, but it's like they didn't want to be involved. And then Japan bombed them.
No,
it's like we really just wanted to sit here.
The Japanese in Singapore, weren't you? Didn't you guys take on the Japanese in Singapore and that?
Possibly. I'm not sure, honestly. But yeah, the Japanese attacked us, so we declared war, and because of that, Germany declared war on us. And I was like, oh fuck. Okay. And here's the big thing: is everyone talks about the Nazis in this country. Everyone talks about the Nazis in this country, but the crazy thing is, the United States was more at war. I say more at war, more concerned about Japan in World War II. Fuck, we nuked Japan twice, right? Yeah, that's exactly it. Well, yeah, they didn't want. I'm certain he didn't want to drop the bombs. Was it Truman?
Yeah.
Pretty sure he didn't want to, but he's like, "Oh, we got this weapon." Like, and the Japanese had this honor culture that they mostly still live by.
Come on.
And the Japanese would jump off of cliffs instead of being taken prisoner, So it's like, kamikaze bombing. It's like you're not gonna get a surrender out of these people.
Yeah, but the Japanese had a lot of that too during Battle of Midway and that as well too.
Yeah, that's exactly what we're talking about. Because the Japanese refused to surrender, no matter what.
When they were losing their
that's
carriers,
why they got bombed twice.
Yeah, when you start taking out some of their carriers and that, they made a pact because they had nowhere to land their planes. So they said, right, we'll go into the American ships. That's why they tried to nosedive.
So what do you guys think about Japan building a military right now?
Well, mate, to be honest with you, I think it's a good idea. I think we're going past 1942, 1944. You look at what's going on with China in that South China Sea and that, mate. That's
China is the issue. I think you're right. But the crazy thing is Japan, with all of this peace that has come after the Great War, because I'm going to call them one war, they jumped forward in technology so much by investing nothing in their military. Yeah, and I'm going to a big fight with these guys over that. It's like we all agreed we were going to pay X percentage. What was it, like 2% of your GDP or something stupid like that? Yeah, it's seriously like 1 or 2%. I'm not sure. Yeah, but the countries that did it are even even if conflict doesn't come and you reduce your military size after the fact, you still have all of these weapons that you have designed and built. You know what I mean? Should war break out. And you could, at that point, you could draft and teach people how to use this weaponry. Well,
Yeah, but
Spain,
you look what's going on like in Europe at the moment, mate. The Poles, mate, they're building up their military massively. People don't realise how big Poland's army and that's getting the defence forces.
well, Poland, not even Poland, that region, Slovakia, that's been there forever, are the most conquered and enslaved people in world history. Well, that's where the word slave comes from, is from Slovakian. And a lot of people don't realize that the most enslaved people in history are white. And because of that, the ACLU has labeled Slovakians official people of color with their blonde hair and blue eyes. Not kidding you.
Honestly, like you even look at England, mate. Their army has depleted what they've had. They used to have the biggest navy in the world. Look at them now.
Not for a long time.
Not
when
for a
they
long time,
had naval superiority, that was like American Revolution time.
Yeah, but not long after that too. Like during World War II, they were pretty big until you guys become really industrialized and started taking over.
Yeah, until all of a sudden all these aircraft carriers just kept cranking out. You're like, what the fuck are those guys doing over there?
There was no one, and during that time, mate, I'll be honest with you, there's no one that could build like naval vessels like you guys did. You guys were just kicking ass what you're doing.
Well, let's be real. Australia had a similar situation in terms of isolation from the actual conflict, right?
Mm.
Yeah, but Australia is far less populated than the United States.
But we're in danger as Japanese come down through what the Japanese do, and they'll come down through all these southeastern countries.
Yes.
Then they hit Singapore big time, and the British had massive bases in Singapore.
Or they'll blow up your production plants in conflict. Yeah. You know what I mean?
We're actually raided by the Japanese. They sent bombers over to Darwin. They bombed Darwin.
There's a city called Darwin in Australia. That's kind of on the nose, isn't it?
Well, that's where you guys had the American base coming off the bloody the wharf that we got up there. But what the government did, they leased out that wharf that you guys used, the American Navy, to the Chinese. Now there's a big stink up about it. It looks like we'll be getting it back. We'll be reversing that lease now because there's a 99-year lease. We don't want the Chinese to come through and take over all the stuff. Yeah, and they're doing it in a lot of bloody Pacific Asian countries.
Pacific Island countries. You're saying I've been to Australia.
Yep.
You're saying there's an American base in Darwin?
Yeah, there's American base Pine Gaps in Northern Territory.
No. I'm curious because I know I pulled into an American base because I didn't need my papers to get off the ship. You know what I mean?
Well, you got Pine Gap. That's in Northern Territory.
Yeah, I'm curious. So nuclear ship, huh? Yep. Yeah, been there, done that. For anyone,
that would have been a time. That would have been a time that New Zealand kicked up a stink as well too. They wouldn't let your naval vessels into New Zealand either.
Yeah. Oh, plenty of countries. You'd be amazed. Spain wouldn't let our nuclear ships. Well, no, our non-nuclear ships could pull in, but not the nuclear ones. So we would drop anchor. What was it? 7 miles from shore is like the international whatever, and we would take. They call them Liberty boats. there were ferries. You would ride to shore. And what sucked as an E3 pulling into a foreign nation like this, it comes out by pay grade in terms of time of who gets to get off the ship. Is that why you got in trouble with Australia? Well, it's funny actually
thought you
because
were in Australia.
one of the repeat offenders friends here, actually, the reason why I still even know who the guy is because we got into a big argument about Australia. Well, I was like, oh, it was so cool, and I pulled in on a Navy ship and I got to watch a kangaroo fist fight a dude. And he tore me apart, up and down, dressed me down like shit. Like I came into freaking inspection with like tears in my uniform. You know what I mean? About how Australia hasn't let tourists view this kind of stuff for like 60 years, going on and on. And I was like, I was on an American Navy base, and I wasn't a tourist. And he goes, oh. He's like, oh, all right. Well, in that case, you might have actually seen this. I was like, yeah, it's freaking crazy. That the size of the biceps and the triceps on one of them, what are they, the grays, or what do they call them? Giant ones?
The reds, big reds.
The big reds. They're enormous animals. And then you see the thing throws a couple punches to see what's going on. And the guy's punching the back. You're like, dude, that thing's going to hurt you. And it leans back on his tail and boots the guy across the freaking boxing ring. And you're like, oh my God.
Yeah, they get up about 7 feet tall, those big reds.
Oh, they're enormous and they're terrifying. And what, they can run something like 60 miles an hour or something stupid?
Yeah, the emus are probably a bit quicker than them.
Yeah, you are not beating it in a fist fight in the wild, and you are not outrunning it, right?
Mate, you beat him in a fist fight, he's going to kick the shit out of you with his bloody feet.
I did see a handful of them cool videos that came out though. For remember that one with the kangaroo had the guy's dog in a headlock, and the guy went out there and like fought the thing. I was like, that's Australia.
He was lucky that was only a grey.
Oh, yeah. And then it was funny because like a week later, a video came out of a guy filming outside his house, and this thing was like pumping its chest and bumping off the glass window. I was like, "Is that the same fucking kangaroo? Did it come to your house to kick your ass?" So did John Bolton.
I've got to go, lad. I'll catch you later on. But thank you anyway. I'll see you next week.
Yeah, thanks for coming by.
Of the Justice Department. On Thursday, federal prosecutors indicted your and my state's Attorney General Letitia James for alleged mortgage fraud. Criminal charges against former National Secretary John Bolton could come as early as next week. You've said this is what tyranny looks like. Can you explain that?
Yes, they have made the Justice Department, which under every other president, Democrat or Republican, pursued the law and went after people who broke the law. They have made it into Trump's personal attack dog. That is what dictatorships do. That's what tyranny is all about. And they did it with Tish James. She had a legitimate case. She pursued it. She actually won. So Trump is now trying to get back at her. But the case is so weak that even Trump's first prosecutor, who he appointed, said there's not a case here. So he fired that one and put a new prosecutor in who would do whatever he wants. But I talked to Tish James a half hour after the indictment came through. She is strong. She is tough. She is resolute. And she is confident, as am I, that these charges will be rejected because they have no basis in law or in fact. So I respect her. She's my friend. And it's, they're doing something.
Yeah, she got a lower interest rate by claiming it was her primary residence. Like, this is where I'm going to live, right? And what did Schumer? Not Schumer. Is it Schiff? That's looking at. That's look not the same, but similar. It's something. It's not. He didn't claim it to be his primary residence, but he claimed it to be something other than what he was, and he got a lower rate. Well, yeah, if I'm gonna have a vacation home, maybe I should pay a higher interest rate. Like, or maybe you know what? Downtown Norfolk? Oh my God, no. Norfolk's are not. Terrific. But I don't know if you're aware, dude, but Norfolk's actually a pretty rough city. Uh, sorry. Uh, yeah, like, geez. Remember the music bank? It was across the street from the main gate, basically. It was a bar. Uh, they ended up getting shut down, but geez, you would see someone get stabbed if you went there somewhat regularly. It was, and a lot of robberies because believe it or not, right next to a military base, you get a lot of crime of people going to rob people that they know got paid yesterday. And hey, it's the 16th of the month or the 3rd of the month, Friday. Get paid on the 1st and 15th. And it's Friday now. These guys are at the bar across the street from the base. Boom, he might have a couple $100 in his pocket. And yeah, it happened a lot, actually, believe it or not. Any of the communities directly next to a military base in the United States is usually pretty ghetto because of this, because they're easy targets. These guys are not allowed to own weapons or to have a weapon on base. And most of them live on base. So they don't have, you're not going to the bar and bringing even a decent sized knife in your pocket or on your hip, let alone a firearm. But yeah, I was just talking about how the communities right next to a military base are always freaking dangerous as fuck because they know there's a whole bunch of dudes who just got paid yesterday going out to get drunk. It's like, oh, look, the 24-year-olds are leaving 2 days after paycheck on Friday, and they're all going to the bar. I bet you there's like $1,000 between these guys, right? In cash. True. Now you're more likely to have your card on you. But we used to hit the. Personally, I like to use cash at least for a tip. And it's funny because right after we bought the house, like signed the paperwork, was when Trump's no tax on tips went through. And we stopped at a Outback Steakhouse on the way home to have a steak. Like, yeah, all right, awesome. Finally bought the house. And I went to go reach for cash to pay the tip. I was like, oh, we don't need to do this. And the wife was like, what? We always. I thought it already did. If that's true, I feel bad. But yeah, I was like, we've always paid tips in cash so that the server could lie on their taxes and pay less tax. When it's right there documented and like what the business, my records, and the credit company all have the transaction of me tipping 30%. Now they have to pay taxes on that versus handing them the cash, But we've talked about this on the show more than once, how I've been doing that forever. And you even said that you try to do this sometimes, right? If you got cash on you, you'd rather tip in cash. That it always feels good to put cash in your pocket. It always feels good to get cash in your pocket instead of it showing up in your paycheck in 5 days, right? Yeah. Anyway, continue. Yeah. You're allowed to protest, just you start chucking concrete milkshakes at people, we're gonna have a problem, right? Um, it's funny because I'm this no kings thing. I love how can't these Canadians had the same process, but they had to call it something else. You know that, right? Yeah, I saw that she was coronated. Yeah, it's like you didn't have a primary, and then and then you went and changed your candidate last minute anyway. Didn't give anyone a choice. Uh, but the no kings thing. One Saturday, it's also going to be in DC because it's like a nationwide thing. They're trying to do it in like yeah, I was to say it's going to be in like as many major cities as they can do. But I think this is why Schumer's keeping the government shut down is so that these Democrat legislators can show their faces in public fighting the power, Uh, and I don't know, man. Sure would be a shame, unacceptable shame if Schumer and Pelosi and AOC were standing next to each other in some right-wing nut job on a rooftop with a rifle, picked all three of them off. I mean, it would be tragic and terrible, and just I'm encouraging everyone who might do something like that. Definitely do not be in DC tomorrow at 9 a.m. where you can see Capitol Hill from a rooftop 6 blocks away because that is wrong. Now I'm allowed to say that, right? It's pretty clear what it was supposed to mean, though, right? Yeah, and this is the issue I'm having with the Democrats right now. It's like, I didn't say anything wrong. It's like, yeah, you're right. You're not gonna go to jail for this, but don't start a fight, then blame the guy that swung back, right? And didn't AOC just have like a whole thing she had to do online to like apologize for calling someone short? Didn't she say someone acted like they were 4'10"? Uh, I wish I could remember who it was, but she said this, and she got blown up, like ratio, because about discriminating on someone's height is the same idea as discriminating based upon race. It's immutable. You cannot change your height. And then she came out and she's like, "Oh no," and she went on about how she loves short kings. And I'm like, but I thought we weren't supposed to have any kings. So like, how do you love short kings? And is we can have a king as long as it's not Trump, who's what was he like 6'3" or something? I Trump is not a skinny dude. Don't get me wrong, he's in way better shape now than he was 6 years ago. But if he's like 6'3", 6'4", shaped like that, well, he's got to weigh like 215, 225 pounds. I mean, at least. Not a little dude, right? Anyway. Did you see this Don Lemon shit? Okay. He basically told black and brown people to arm themselves against ICE. It's going to end very badly. Because let me tell you what's going to happen if ICE kicks in my front door thinking I'm an illegal immigrant, right? An illegal alien. I'm going to get down on my knees and put my hands behind my head and let them do what they're going to do. And then in a courtroom, they're going to find out I'm an American citizen and I'm going to go back home. Now, if they kicked in my door and I ran and grabbed my shotgun, how do you think that's... Yeah, I'm going to die. See, I'm already armed and I know better than to go straight to my weapon. It's supposed to be a last resort. Yeah, it's supposed to be a last resort. But like I said, even if they... Assuming I knew it was ICE kicking in my door. Now, if a bunch of plainclothes guys claiming to be ICE kicked in my door, I would go for my weapon. Well, wouldn't the gang that wants to stop you from selling your pot or whatever the fuck, you know what I mean? Or they're gonna yell, open the doors to police. They're not gonna say, we're the rival gang. You know what I mean? Man, it's just crazy. This is gonna end horribly. And what's even worse is Lemon is going to use this as an example of the violence coming from the police shooting all these people. Yeah, same status as us. Well, he just makes me laugh. He hates white people so much. And then, and then he's like, oh, the government, you're being fucked by the white man. And, all this shit. I'm like, no, Don, that's just you. You married a white guy. Oh, come on. That was gold and you know it. All right. Well, one of these illegal immigrant social media influencers, she was putting out like locations of ICE. Oh yeah, she was giving out like locations and warning people to get out of the area. She's been deported. So, just a heads up, these folks I don't think understand there's an IP address. If you post something online, the federal government, believe it or not, cannot just find out what house it came from, but which computer. Yeah, anyone who knows how to do it, right? But these people are so dumb. I was going to say that I'm sure the U.S. government has a way around that because they invented the VPN. Yeah. It's just the thing is, these people are so dumb. They don't know what they're doing. They don't understand how the world works, and then they go and do this shit, and they're shocked they get caught. Like, how many people did we watch on video lighting Teslas on fire? Back in the day, what, like 4 months ago? Yeah, but you would have thought after the 5th or 6th video came out that your average fucking moron who would do this would realize, oh, Teslas have something called Sentry mode when there are like 13 cameras pointed in every direction and they turn on if you're even close to the car. Yeah, but they kept doing it. They had to come on, what? Oh my God. Yeah, that's the question. Is are they dumb or ignorant? And I know they sound the same thing, but dumb means you are like stupid, like you don't learn well. You don't retain knowledge, you don't learn lessons. Ignorant means you were never exposed to this to be able to learn it. So these people, like, they were never shown all these videos, or did just have no impact on them? Oh my goodness. Uh, some illegal immigrant offered a $10,000 bounty on uh ICE agents, like kill ICE agents, and I'll give you 10 grand. He's been deported, so good work, buddy. But ICE legal areas in Chicago. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, here we go. Perfect. There's a cop in Chicago who's an illegal alien, and before the left loses their mind, I want to point out it is illegal to possess, to own, or even possess a firearm as an illegal immigrant. Right? Like, no, your buddy next door comes over to your house and you go shooting and you let him hold your gun and fire. He has broken the law, and maybe you. But JB Pritzker went ahead and made this guy a cop and gave him a gun. And before the left loses their mind, yes. And even better, it's the white guy. So the Democrats can't even lose their shit over about discrimination about this. So they might actually allow this guy to get deported. You know, just like them South African refugees that they refused to let in the country. Was it like 18 people, and they're starting a freaking fight over that versus 20 million? Yeah, I know. Looks like the war might be over in Israel. Three phases. Three phases. Correct. But they also said they weren't going to show up to the signing, and they weren't going to do release the hostages. Yeah, like, you got a chance to get out of this, dudes. Here's hoping we just put it behind us. You guys attacked them and took hostages, civilians. They came back with overwhelming force. They're willing to not flat level Palestine at this point, right? Well, it's hilarious. I think we talked about last week. Greta was posted that picture of a Palestinian POW, all emaciated, and it turned out he was yeah, well, not even fake. He was an Israeli Jew in custody of Hamas, who was forced to dig his own grave and being starved to death. She took it down. And I was like, this didn't make you think a little bit of what's going on. But she's also claiming that they made her strip naked while they took pictures of her. I just don't necessarily believe that. Okay. Yeah, yeah, no, pics or didn't happen, I believe is what you say, right? Well, she also claims she was tortured and beaten. I'm like, where are your bruises? Where are your broken bones? You know, you don't get tortured and show up looking like you just had a fine meal 10 minutes ago, you know? But Hamas did execute a handful of people like in the streets right after they started. Yeah. And one of the women on The View, I want to say Alyssa Farah Griffin, but I don't know why I know that name. Is it from The View? Oh, okay. She promised to wear a Trump hat, a MAGA hat. I didn't realize that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, she said she'd wear a MAGA hat if Trump ended the war, and now she's weaseling out, just like a whole bunch of celebrities who call for the ceasefire are now saying, "This is great." They're saying this isn't fair to Gaza, to Palestine, or whatever. This is terrible. This is horrible. This is disgusting. Meanwhile, Biden and Harris claimed credit for it. So if it's Biden's plan, which I think is hilarious that Joe Biden is accusing people of plagiarism. Come on, isn't that why he had to drop out of the presidential race the first time he ran? Well, it's because Americans have short memories. Let's be real. But yeah, but so okay, so was it Biden's plan and it was brilliant, or was it horrible and all the wrong decisions to make? Correct. Like Turkey. Yeah, yeah, like Turkey. Well, that's the thing is every time they tried to stop shooting each other, one side, usually Hamas, but not every time, would blow shit up. Just like when they tried this last time, Israel kept launching rockets until like 20 minutes before the official ceasefire happened. It's like, yeah, maybe I don't know, but I just know if you guys sign papers, you should at least not fire your weapons until you think you need to. Don't do as much damage as you can in the amount of time you have. Yes, because I think Israel got very aggressive. I think yeah, and don't get me wrong, Israel has every right to defend themselves. I would say every 10 years or so. And I get it, Israel has every right to defend themselves. But well, if they want to wipe out Hamas, stop blowing. Correct. Correct. And it's funny because I've heard a lot of people talk shit about Israel just existing. I'm like, how many Muslim nations are there? And like, I don't know. I was like, I think there's like 150 or something stupid, like 147 or something stupid, where it's actually required for you to be a Muslim in this country. Like it's the law. That's the well, yes. Uh, Depending on how you interpret some of these texts from the Quran and what's the other big one they have? There's another big one that they follow, but they kill the apostate, right? Meanwhile, Christianity has the prodigal son. You leave and we're sad, then you come back and we love you more. Uh, but yeah, then you're like, well, okay, how many Jewish countries are there on the entire planet? One. It's like, maybe let them do their own thing, right? I mean, it's funny because oh, United States is a Christian nation. Yes, because it's full of Christians, but there's no official language, religion. Uh, but yeah, a whole bunch of celebrities that were talking trash. They found a way to say it's not good that this war is ending. I just, what do the Democrats stand for at this point? Like, what's I I not even that. I think no matter what Trump does, they have to take the other side of the argument, no matter what. Just like how many times have I said, if Trump cured cancer, they would complain that he put oncologists out of business. You know, Mamdani. Yeah, yeah. Because of an ICC warrant, basically International Criminal Court. Exactly. We do not recognize the International Criminal Court as an authority, and if he did, that would cause a problem. You'd have to do it very quickly. I think, honestly. And I think if he arrested Netanyahu and had a jet ready to go to fly him to trial. Yeah, okay, the Hague. I'm sorry, you're right. Oh my God, you're right. No kidding. Oh shit, I've dealt with military prisoners before, but not international prisoners. Yeah, I've told you I did brig escort, right? Yeah, I took guys from the yeah, and you're like, this is a dangerous man, right? Oh, you okay? You were the guy taking pictures. That's right. I keep forgetting you are a fucking photographer. When I did brig, no, when I did brig escort, I was security. I was the guy who performed the strip search. Not kidding you. They gave me choices of how to check someone's colon, and I was like, I like the squat and cough technique. But there's other ways that fit make sure no one's smuggling shit in their butt. But yeah, I went with squat while you're naked, cough, and I just make sure a little piece of a knife doesn't spit out a little bit and go back in. Geez, Louise, that was a terrifying job though. Like I didn't realize exactly what was going on at first. But I remember I was in my working blues. It's like a slacks, dress shirt, tie, taco hat. Uh, and my boss at the time told me to take my tie off. And I was like, well, it's part of my uniform. Like, I can't take off my uniform. And he said, can't remember the exact words, but it was something like, yes. And this man is being tried for 4 counts of murder. Do you really want a noose already tied around your neck for this guy to pull tight? And I was like, no, I do not want a noose tied around my neck already. I'll take my fucking tie off before I take this alleged murderer to a court martial, you know? But yeah, dude, it was hilarious because I at first like take your tie off, and I was like, no, it's part of my uniform, right? Remember the working blues? Yeah, but they were comfortable. It's not yeah, working blues. See, I rarely had a chance to wear any of those uniforms, except for basically inspection. I'll be 100% honest. I wore my working blues, my dress whites, my dress blues more during inspection than any other time in my entire run in the service. Well, I was always wearing coveralls, dude. I was a welder and a plumber, right? Like I was allowed to wear coveralls in home port. You weren't, were you? Yeah, yeah. No, I wore dungarees. Well, don't get me wrong, the utilities were great. I love my utilities. Dungarees, yeah, you make a life vest out of your pants. And it's even cooler. Just a little fun fact for everyone out there. The bell-bottom pants that the Navy is known for is so you can get your pants off over your boots if you go overboard and turn your freaking pants into a life vest. The Dixie cup, the famous Dixie cup, sailor's cap that floated. Yeah, which I still think it's hilarious that when I went sailing with you, it was like the 6th or 7th time. You're like, I just realized you're wearing a Dixie cup. And I was like, really? Like, oh, it's inside out. I was like, well, kind of. It's flipped down like Gilligan. You're like, oh my God, Gilligan wore a Dixie cup. Yeah. 3-hour tour. Wait, but yeah, I remember laughing so hard when you finally realized it had been several times. I think it was because you took a picture of me like picking my teeth with like a 15-inch Bowie knife with my Dixie cup on. I'm sure you remember that picture, right? That was a good picture, wasn't it? Uh, and then I never went sailing with you again after my wife got drilled in the forehead by your boom. Yeah, you never invited me again, but that's okay. Actually, that sounds like a good idea, doesn't it? Because I genuinely intend to spend at least one night. Like, there's no way I'm going there and cleaning out a storage unit and driving back home, right? Jesus Christ, what is it? It's like 6.5 hour drive in a straight line. Yep. What would be even better is if we could figure out to arrange me driving to Virginia to pick my shit up and do this like the week before you drive to Michigan to see your family. So, well, because then I can come to your house and do a show, right? And then next week you're at my house. It would be pretty fun. Anyway, wow. Little bit more before we go. Top Air Force enlisted leader announced end of active duty service, blah 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 blah. First of all, it's the bombings of the Venezuelan boats. SOCOM? Yeah, yeah, probably. Well, no, he's the top Air Force enlisted leader. I'm guessing. That's like MCPON, but Navy, right? By the way, MCPON. Yes. See, and the title of this article right here. Okay, never mind. There's a different article I read, and I went and found this one. Another one I read made it sound like he was leaving because of the bombings. Exactly. And it's because it's like, oh, he just got this job. He's leaving because of this. And he hates Trump. Was like, his wife died. Like, retire, right? Let this be someone else's problem. Go grieve, right? Yeah. That dude's gonna have a paycheck coming the rest of his life. That's more money than almost anyone, probably anyone who's ever listened to this show makes in a year, right? There's a chance Elon Musk listened to us once, right? There's a chance. You never know. You never know. Okay, well, there's a chance Tim Pool listened to our show because I've contacted him a couple times. about trying to get, huh? We tried that. Claire never got back to us. You don't think so? How great would it be if we had, yeah, well, yeah, maybe. I think it has to do something with all the trans stuff going on lately, honestly, but well, it's an adult. After serving in the Navy. So it's like, yeah, and in sports and in the service. And I listened to someone flipping out recently on Twitter, maybe, I don't know, about oh, what difference does it make to you if the person next to you on the front line in a war is trans? They're gonna still save your life. I was like, no, the issue is they're carrying less ammunition on them because they have a fucking cooler full of medication that they need injected into them every day. You know what I mean? That's the issue. Same reason why diabetics aren't allowed in. It's not because you have blood sugar issues. It's because you have too much upkeep to make it reason. One or two. So does that mean you are? That mean? Well, okay. Oh, let me rephrase that because I know a little bit of the diabetes. Are you insulin dependent? Okay. But you have insulin. I don't even know what that is. Oh, Ozempic, you know. Yeah, well, I'm just like my father's not insulin dependent, but he has insulin. And it and it dumps the blood, the sugar from your blood into your body so you can use it. Okay. Because well, most people don't understand what diabetes really is. They know it's a sugar deficiency, and they know most people even know it's a, oh my God, what the hell is that organ called? Oh, pancreas, right? So, yeah, it's a pancreatic issue, but they don't realize that the real issue it's getting the sugar that's in your blood because you ate a bunch of food or a bunch of sugars. It's pumping through your blood. The sugar in your blood's not really the issue. Don't get me wrong, that can be wrong. The issue is it's not getting into your body. Your body's supposed to absorb that and use it to like pump your heart and breathe, right? All right. All right. An admiral has stepped down during these boat strikes. Two. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Uh yeah. Couldn't get a good story about what exactly was going on. But again, they make it sound like it's because of the drug boat blowing up. We Yeah, one survivor is the only one I could find a bunch of articles saying survivors plural. There was only, I guess, only one that was still alive, but she leads some interrogation. And I understand the argument people have about blowing up boats in the Caribbean. I understand it, I do. Yeah, but you can't just blow shit up in the international waters and kill people, right? What? Dear God, can you imagine if you decided to go fishing? I know you're not a fisherman, even though that boat you got would be great for fishing and you know it. Dude, do you have any idea what kind of you eat fish? Do you know what kind of crazy fish you pull out of the ocean that are delicious right there? No, maybe you're right. Maybe don't eat fish anywhere near Norfolk, Virginia, right? There's too much oil in the water, let's be real. But yeah, they got this guy, so maybe they can question him. I understand you can't just blow shit up and kill people. But the United States at the same time cannot reveal to the world their level of surveillance technology, right? It's like, oh, well, we can show you pictures of them loading this shit up from our satellite, but then we let the entire world know that we can actually do this. You know what I mean? That we have a satellite geosynchronous orbit above Venezuela. Maduro is rallying troops and militias right now, ready to fight Trump at the same time. Actually, you got this in leftovers. At the same time, Maduro also wrote a letter saying, we're going to help you do whatever it is you want to do. You know, I'm not involved in this drug cartel. That's when Trump was like, yeah, that's because they don't want to fuck with the United States. And Trump actually dropped an F-bomb in a press conference. As what did we actually do a flyover of the B-2s, or are we just staging them? Jeez Louise. And again, they probably yeah, and again, like I said, Venezuela probably didn't even know it happened. You know? And by the way, Trump has also authorized CIA operations in Venezuela. Well, you're never ever gonna see proof of CIA activity until it's in a courtroom, and you know that. But he's got guys doing their thing in Venezuela, trying to get this intel as we're flying over B-2 bombers, saying that yeah, we might actually strike inland of Venezuela to take out this cartel. Big deal. Big deal. And I'm seriously considering buying I keep saying this, buying Raytheon, Northrop Grumman, Rolls-Royce, General Electric stocks. Because there's a good chance we get into a fight with Venezuela right now over this shit. And let's be real, who's going to come to the defense of Venezuela over this? Besides American citizens being bitches. Like, you think Russia's going to help these guys? The commies in China just fired something like 10 generals. I'm sorry, I think it's 10 anyway, but it says top generals. But they just, it sounds like the Chinese are either going to reduce the military or are streamlining it to be more efficient. I don't know. Why would you all of a sudden just come through with sweeping cuts and cut out top brass, just like the United States is doing right now? That's what it is. That China wants to be like the U.S. That's why they're communist. Oh my goodness. All right. We did go late. And it's funny because I actually made it a point to try to make this one flow better. And we had less, but I might have to cut more material out next time. I think that's our true, and that's why the stuff that doesn't just flow down, it goes into leftovers. But I think that's our show, bro.